Hey guys, what's up? Autumn here. Welcome back to my channel, Autumn Flowers. If you do not know me, then that means you have not seen any of my videos, or you've probably only seen a couple, but you're not subscribed. So before this video even gets started, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. In today's video, I asked on my Instagram, what are some things that you guys want to know about the Navy? Either rumors or just typical questions regarding what Navy life is like, boot camp. But before I go into answering these questions, I do want to put out a short little disclaimer. All of these answers to the questions are just my opinion or from my perspective. I've only been in the Navy for over a year now, and I've been on 2 different commands. Someone else who may be watching this video, or someone else who has been in the Navy for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and even retired by now, can either give you their answers to the question, what their opinions are, might not agree with what I'm saying. So I just want to put a disclaimer out here that this is all just from what I experienced, my opinions, and then my perspective. So don't come at me if you don't like an answer to my question. This is just what I want to put out there and tell you, or the people who've asked me these questions, what I know from my level of knowledge, which might be very minimum compared to someone who's been in a lot longer than me or who have experienced much more than I have. We can go ahead and jump right into these questions. I'm so excited. Okay, question number 1. What made you join the Navy? So honestly, the reason I joined the Navy was because I wanted to go somewhere new, and I love trying new things. Back in high school, I was always trying like a new sport and trying to go off and branch into like new things because I don't like just doing the same old thing all the time. Once I found like my 3 sports, I stuck with my 3 sports and I loved it, but I still wanted to go out and try new things. I wanted to go to college. I was applying for schools, but it was still like very, very, very expensive. So I always questioned, what if I joined the military? And a lot of people never really took me seriously because I'm either just some type of athletic, sportsy person who likes doing their makeup, doing their hair, looking good, wearing heels, all this stuff, right? So every time I always said, what if I joined the military? I always joked about, oh, I'm going to go join the Army, I'm going to join the Marines. I wasn't always taken very seriously. So that question was always in the back of my mind, what if I joined the military? So I went and did it. How did your parents handle you telling them that you're enlisting? So everyone's parents are different. Everyone's parents are going to react differently. For me, I joined when I was already 18, so it wasn't really a matter of me asking to join. It was just hey, I'm joining the military. So they were like, okay, yeah, that's exciting. Like, go ahead, go do all your research, blah, blah, blah. This branch is better for like women. So overall, my parents, they were very like forwarding with it. They're like, okay, I can't really stop you. It's your life. Go do what you want to do. So then about a week later, when I actually told them, hey, I signed all my papers, I'm going, they were like, what? You just told me last week you were thinking about it. But I actually wanted to do it and I wanted to go. So they were a little like shocked, but they were also like, okay, I'm proud of you. Go do what you wanted. Are you still going to college, or do you plan on making a career out of the Navy? School is always my #1 priority. I 100% still want to go to school, and I am not making the Navy a career of mine. When I first joined, I said I was just going to do my 4 years and then go to school right after. There are other people in the Navy who have said the same thing, and yet they're already in for 10 plus years, or they're retiring. Everyone's opinion is very different. Sometimes you might come in with an idea and then you end up leaving with a different perspective, or you come in doing like the complete opposite of what you originally had in mind, which is okay because, you know, everyone is different and you can't always base you off of someone else. That is one huge thing to keep in mind when going into the services. How long did it take you to get used to the constant routine / strict schedule? I would say after about a week in boot camp, that's when you kind of get used to it, because now you're kind of seeing what every day is like in the constant schedule. When you're in the fleet, it was quick and easy. Like, it was like, okay, I gotta wake up at 6, I gotta muster at 7:15, and then you're off 1500, 1600, and then you just repeat. It was a very simple schedule, and it wasn't very hard to really adapt to. So if you have a daily routine right now, it'll be easy for you to kind of adapt to a new schedule. But the only thing is, you have to know you're going off of someone else's schedule and not your own. What was the hardest part about boot camp? So boot camp, in my opinion, was not that hard. And a lot of people can also like agree with me saying, oh, it wasn't that hard. Yes, there are some hard days, but when you look back over it and you look back at those 8 weeks, you're just like, it wasn't that bad. For me, the hardest part of boot camp was staying awake. Like, let me tell you, sitting in those long classes, watching like a PowerPoint, but there are a few times when you just like, you don't catch yourself and you're occasionally just like drifting off, then you're just like, oh, oof. People from like my division and in boot camp, they know how I am. I would always constantly be falling asleep. Like, I was tired, and I had a job while I was in boot camp as well. There was one time I was shining my boots sitting down, and I legit started dozing off. I'm shining my boots and I'm like just falling asleep. Did you have any familiar faces / friends in boot camp, or were you all by yourself? So around the same time, I had a group of friends from my school, and they were all like joining the Navy as well. So a lot of our days that we were leaving for boot camp were around the same time. My best friend, she left a week before me, I think a week or 2 weeks before me. First time we actually saw each other was at church, and we started bawling our eyes out. It was such an amazing moment. One of my favorite worship songs were playing, and I just saw my best friend, and we were like, oh my gosh, like, you're here. And we were like both hysterically crying. The second time I saw one of my friends over at like medical during sick call, he's like, yeah, me and blah 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 are in the same division. And I was like, oh my goodness, you guys go to this church ceremony at this time so then we can see each other. So then on that following Sunday, we saw each other at church. It was 3 of us all reunited. The 4th friend was actually in the same ship as I was, and when my division was going in for lunch, his division was leaving, and I see someone stop and like hug the wall and turn around and look at me, and I was just like, who, like, why did that recruit just stop like that? And then I lock eyes with him like, oh my gosh, it's you! We were just freaking out. That day I was so sad. We had our first phone calls, and I got to speak to my family, and I was already like red eyes, I had tears. Just seeing like another friend on the day when like I missed like my family, I was so happy. And actually 2 of my friends, we graduated at the same time. Was boot camp hell, or did you actually find some fun in it? Boot camp was so much fun. It was ridiculously fun. There were days that, yes, you hated it and you're like, I want to go home, this is miserable, why did I sign up for this? But there are so many times that are just so memorable and that you legit just have so much fun with. And I think one of the most fun times I had was swimming. I like swimming a lot. So when you jump off like this 10-foot tower, you're swimming across this whole like Olympic-sized pool. You're doing drills, jumping into like life rafts. It was fun. That was one of my favorite parts of boot camp. It was fun going into like the gas chamber. It burned, but it was so much fun. All the firefighting training was fun. I wouldn't say it was complete hell, but there were days where you're like getting beat, or you're sweating and working out. There is so much bickering where you're like, are you serious? Like, you're supposed to be an adult. Why are you acting like a child? which happens a lot. Even in the fleet, you have such childish adults that you're just like, how is it that you're here? But in boot camp, it was a lot of fun. Is it hard not to cry when they're yelling in your face? So it's not hard to not cry. It's kind of like you still have to think that they're just people, they're just doing a job, and when you realize that everyone around you is going through the same thing that you're going through, it is not that hard. There are a few times where after like they're yelling at you, you'll go and have like a breakdown. I know that literally probably everyone has had at least one breakdown throughout boot camp, and that's completely fine. Like, it's a whole new environment, whole new life that you're adjusting to. But when they're actually in your face yelling, crying is the least thing that you actually do want to do, because it might just make the situation a whole lot worse. So I feel like it's actually really easy to not cry when they're yelling in your face. Of course, no one likes getting yelled at in their face. There are those people who think that they can talk back or get tough like right at the RDCs, but it's like, what's the point? Like, you're here learning. Is it true your whole barracks have to get showered, dressed, and have their hair done in 15 minutes? Okay guys, so that was my video for you guys. Hey there, random pause, but I just wanted to say that I got so many questions, and instead of uploading a 20 to 30 minute video, which can be a little bit overwhelming, I decided to split it up into 2 parts. So if you want to see part 2, be sure to subscribe and be on the lookout for that upcoming video. All right, on to the regular outro now. Bye. But thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I'm Autumn Flowers. Be sure to follow me on all of my socials, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all at autumnvflowers. And if you have not already, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in my next video.